Failure hurts. It hurts when you give everything you have and still lose. It hurts when you work for something, believe in something, and watch it fall apart right in front of you. But listen carefully. Failure is not what makes you weak. What you do after failure decides that. Most people fail once and start making excuses. They blame the situation. They blame other people. They blame bad luck. Then they go back to the same comfortable life and tell themselves they were never meant to win. Don't become that person. You lost? Good. Now learn why. You made a mistake? Good. Now fix it. You got rejected? Good. Now become better. Because every time life knocks you down, you get a choice. Or you can stay there and feel sorry for yourself, or you can stand back up with more experience, more discipline, and more hunger than you had before. The world doesn't care how many times you fall. It cares whether you get back up. And here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You will fail again. You will have bad days. You will make stupid decisions. You will lose money. You will lose opportunities. People will disappoint you. Sometimes you will even disappoint yourself. But none of that has to destroy you. Let failure teach you. Let pain sharpen you. Let rejection push you. Let every loss remind you that you still have work to do. Because the person who refuses to quit becomes a different kind of person. Someone who has been tested. Someone who has been knocked down and still stood up. Someone who no longer breaks when life gets difficult. So stop running from failure. Face it, study it, use it, and keep moving forward. Failure has a way of showing you things about yourself that success can hide. When everything is going well, it's easy to believe you're disciplined, strong, and ready for anything. You feel confident because nothing is really testing you. But then something goes wrong. You lose an opportunity. You make a bad decision. You work hard and still don't get the result you wanted. Suddenly, all those hidden weaknesses start showing up. Maybe you realize you give up too quickly. Maybe you depend too much on other people's approval. Maybe you don't handle pressure well. Maybe you waste time when things become difficult instead of facing the problem. That's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to pay attention to. Failure is like a mirror. It doesn't always show you what you want to see, but it can show you what you need to see. And if you're willing to be honest with yourself, that information can become incredibly valuable. Don't waste a failure by simply feeling bad about it. Ask yourself what actually happened. Where did you make the wrong choice? What did you ignore? What could you have done better? Did you prepare enough? Did you lose focus? Did you trust the wrong person? Did you quit too early? Be honest, even if the answer hurts, because you cannot fix a weakness you refuse to admit exists. And once you identify it, you can work on it. You can become more disciplined. You can improve your skills. You can prepare better. You can control your emotions. You can stop repeating the same mistake. Failure doesn't have to define you. It can reveal the parts of you that still need work. Stop being afraid of losing. Fear of failure can become worse than failure itself. You can spend so much time trying to protect yourself from losing that you never give yourself a real chance to win. You stay quiet because you're afraid people will judge you. You don't start because you're afraid it won't work. You don't take the opportunity because you keep thinking about everything that could go wrong. And while you're thinking, time keeps moving. The truth is, you're going to lose sometimes. Nobody gets everything right. Nobody wins every opportunity. Even the most successful people have faced rejection, bad decisions, broken plans, and moments when they thought they had messed everything up. The difference is that they didn't let one loss become their identity. If you lose, learn. If you fail, adjust. If something doesn't work, try another way. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to stop allowing fear to control every decision you make. Think about what happens when you finally stop being scared of losing. You become willing to try. You become willing to speak up, take risks, learn new skills, and step into situations that make you uncomfortable. You start living instead of constantly protecting yourself. And yes, some things will go wrong. You might look foolish. Someone might laugh at you. Someone might tell you that you can't do it. You might put in months of effort and still have to start again. That's part of the game. A loss is temporary. Regret can last much longer. So don't let the fear of losing keep you trapped in the same place. Take the chance. Make the attempt, learn from the result, keep moving even when you don't know exactly how things will turn out. Pain can change you. When something goes wrong, your first reaction might be to ask, why me? You feel angry, disappointed, or tired. Maybe someone betrayed you. Maybe you lost something important. Maybe you worked hard and still failed. Whatever the reason, pain has a way of making everything feel heavier. But pain doesn't have to be wasted. You can let it destroy your confidence, or you can use it as a reason to become stronger. Think about the moments that hurt you the most. Those moments probably taught you things that comfort never could. They showed you who was really there for you. They showed you where you were weak. They forced you to make decisions you had been avoiding. Pain can wake you up. Maybe you were taking your life for granted. Maybe you were wasting your time. Maybe you were giving too much attention to people who didn't deserve it. Or maybe you'd become comfortable and stop pushing yourself. Then something happened, and suddenly you realized you couldn't continue living the same way. That realization can become fuel. Use the anger to work harder. Use the disappointment to improve. Use rejection to sharpen your skills. Use the difficult days to build discipline. But don't let pain turn you bitter. There is a difference between becoming stronger and becoming cold. You don't need to hate everyone who hurt you. You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove your worth to people who doubted you. Your energy is better spent building yourself. Take the pain and turn it into action. Go to the gym. Learn something useful. Fix your habits. Work on your goals. Become more focused. When you give your pain a purpose, it stops being just something you suffered through and becomes something that pushes you to grow. Every mistake has something to teach you, but only if you're willing to look at it honestly. Most people make a mistake and immediately try to forget it. They don't want to think about what happened because it feels uncomfortable. They blame someone else, make an excuse, or simply move on and hope the same thing never happens again. But if you don't understand your mistake, you are more likely to repeat it. Think about a time when you made a decision you regret. Maybe you trusted someone you shouldn't have. Maybe you rushed into something without thinking. Maybe you ignored advice. Maybe you were too lazy to prepare properly. Whatever happened, don't just focus on how bad you felt afterward. Ask yourself why it happened. What did you miss? What could you have done differently? What warning signs did you ignore? Those questions can be uncomfortable, but they are useful. You don't need to hate yourself for making mistakes. You need to become smarter because of them. A mistake becomes expensive when you repeat it without learning anything. But when you study what went wrong, you turn experience into wisdom. Maybe next time you prepare earlier. Maybe you ask better questions. Maybe you stop trusting words and start watching actions. Maybe you control your emotions before making an important decision. That's growth. You are going to make mistakes. Everyone does. You will sometimes choose the wrong path, trust the wrong person, or make a decision that looks completely different when you see it later. Don't let embarrassment stop you from learning. Or take responsibility for your part. Fix what you can. Change what needs to change. Then keep moving. You don't need a perfect past to build a better future. You need the courage to look at your past honestly and refuse to make the same mistake twice. There will be moments when you want to quit, not because you're weak, but because you're tired. You're working hard, you're not seeing results, and every new problem feels like another reason to stop. You start wondering if all the effort is even worth it. That's when quitting becomes tempting. But before you walk away, ask yourself why you started. Maybe you wanted a better life. Maybe you wanted to prove something to yourself. Maybe you wanted to become stronger, build something meaningful, or escape a version of yourself that you were no longer proud of. Remember that, because progress is rarely obvious while you're living through it. Sometimes you work for weeks or months and feel like nothing is changing. You train, but your body doesn't look different yet. You study, but you still feel behind. You work on your goals, but the results aren't coming fast enough. That doesn't mean it's not working. Growth takes time. You cannot plant a seed today and demand a tree tomorrow. The same is true for your life. Some days you will need to push hard. Other days simply showing up will be enough. You don't have to be perfect every day. You just have to avoid making one bad day into a reason to abandon everything. Take a break if you need one. Change your plan if the plan isn't working. Ask for help when you need it. But don't confuse changing your approach with giving up. Quitting says this is impossible. Persistence says this isn't working yet, so I'll find another way. There's a big difference. When life gets hard, slow down if you must, but keep moving. The goal isn't to prove that you never struggle. The goal is to keep going. Even when the struggle becomes real. Struggle has a way of changing you. When life is easy, you don't always discover what you're capable of. You can stay comfortable and believe you're strong because nothing has really challenged you, but when things get difficult, you are forced to make choices. You have to decide whether you're going to face the problem or run from it. That's where growth happens. Every difficult period can teach you something. Maybe it teaches you patience. Maybe it teaches you discipline. Maybe it shows you that you are stronger than you thought. Sometimes you don't understand the lesson while you're going through it. You only see it later when you realize how much you've changed. Think about the hardest thing you've dealt with. At the time, you probably wanted it to end as quickly as possible. You may have felt like you couldn't handle another day of it. But somehow, you kept going. And now you know something about yourself that you didn't know before. You can survive difficult days. You can adapt. You can start again. Don't waste that strength. If you're struggling right now, don't immediately assume your life is falling apart. Sometimes you're simply being pushed outside the comfort zone that kept you small. Use the pressure to build better habits. Use difficult moments to become more patient. Use setbacks to improve your skills. Use uncertainty to learn how to stay calm when you don't have all the answers. You don't need to enjoy the struggle. Nobody says you have to. You just need to stop seeing every hard moment as proof that you're failing. Some challenges are there to teach you what comfort never could. They force you to become more disciplined, more aware, more patient, and more prepared for the next level of your life. Failure can either become the story you tell about why you couldn't do it, or the moment that forced you to become better. When you fail, it's easy to feel embarrassed. You start thinking about what people will say. You replay the mistake in your head. You wonder if you are good enough. Sometimes one bad experience can make you question everything you've been working toward. Don't let one moment decide your future. Your comeback starts when you stop looking at failure as proof that you are finished and start looking at it as information. You know what didn't work now. You know what mistake you made. You know where you were unprepared. You know what needs to change. That knowledge is valuable. Maybe your first attempt failed because you didn't have the right skills, so learn them. Maybe you weren't disciplined enough. Build better habits. Maybe you trusted the wrong people. Become more careful. Maybe you gave up when things got difficult. Train yourself to stay longer next time. That's how a comeback is built. Not through one huge moment, but through small decisions made after the setback. Get up and start again. Make the next attempt smarter than the last one. Don't repeat the same plan and expect a different result. Adjust, improve, try again. And don't worry if your comeback doesn't look impressive at first. Nobody sees the early stages. They only notice when the results become obvious. Let them underestimate you. You don't need to announce every move you're making. You don't need to explain your plans to everyone. Work quietly. Fix your weaknesses. Build your skills. Take care of your body. Strengthen your mind. Keep showing up. Every failure gives you another chance to come back with more experience than you had before, and when you refuse to let one loss define you, the story starts changing.